So immediately you have drama. You have a character who has just vanished, but prior to that just said they were abducted, so there is a threat with it. You have a cover-up element. Now, Curseborne isn't a game with a masquerade that's being enforced by some vast supernatural conspiracy or something like this. This is the kind of game where if someone comes up to you and says, "I was abducted by aliens," they may be telling the truth, but let's be honest, as in the real world, who is going to believe them? It doesn't matter how earnest they are when they say, "I was taken aboard a UFO." Most people are just going to say, yeah, right. And you can extend that logic to seeing Sasquatches, vampires, hell, the face of God in your soup. But the case in this is you have to somehow find a way of managing these two mundane mortals and what they have just witnessed, which is a deeply traumatized, injured woman just vanishing in the blink of an eye. Maybe one of them is going to rationalize it. Maybe one of them is going to enter hysterics. Whatever the case, that's something to deal with. Now, the plot itself, how are we going to pursue that? We can't just tease an idea like this and not follow up with it. Well, this is where you would start leaning into player characters' roles rather than their accursed families and lineages. For instance, if we have a detective or someone who is a cop, maybe they could look up people who have gone missing. Maybe they could actually find out if there was a young woman who matched the description of this person who just vanished. Maybe you could look up this half an address, Mulberry, what is Mulberry? And you could find that on the other side of the city, there is a part of the city that's being gentrified. A street has been all but demolished. The demolition started about 5 years ago, funding ran out, and right now it's just a bunch of empty lots, and that is Mulberry Avenue. There's no one who lives there anymore, but that's where she claimed to have lived. So now we've got a historic element. Now the big question: how to find out who abducted her. Let's say we can identify who she is by piecing various clues together, by digging into both technology or newspaper archives. Maybe you could go to Mulberry Avenue, find out someone who did live there and knew her. And we could find out that this is a woman who lived on the street 10 years ago, and she vanished without a trace. Her family were left in complete distress and moved away from the area about 2 years ago. They held on for as long as they could. Eventually, when the demolition started happening, they were the last holdouts to hold on to their property, and then they had to go as well. They were basically forced out by the city.